You may start, Monu.
Okay, ma'am. The only thing that matters is getting to projects, market fit. Good afternoon to one and all present here, respected principal, vice principal, dignitaries, teachers, and all my dear friends. Starting and growing a business is as much about the innovation drive and determination of the people who do it as it is about the product they sell. Today, Research and Postgraduate Department of Commerce, in association with Institutions Innovation Council, Entrepreneurship Development Department Club of St. Thomas College, Thrissur, is conducting a webinar on building an innovation of product fit for the market. Research Department of Commerce already comes up with an elucidative session which can boost up the students. And we have our Entrepreneurship Development Club ingrain the entrepreneurship qualities and helps in breaking up entrepreneurial talent. Then we have Institutions Innovation Council, which has been functioning in our college from November 2018. The aim of this cell is to encourage, motivate, and foster young generation by supporting them in creating new ideas. So it's my immense pleasure to welcome you all on behalf of St. Thomas College, Thrissur, to this webinar. God speaks in the silence of the heart. Listening is the beginning of the prayer. So let us have a silent prayer for a moment. Now, I would like to call upon Dr. Biju John M., head of the department, to render the welcome speech.
So, good afternoon to everyone. Today, the Research Department of Commerce, in association with Institutions Innovation Council and the Entrepreneurship Development Club, is organizing a webinar on the topic Building an Innovation or Product Fit for the Market. So, we are all aware that a lot of changes are being occurred in the business sector across the globe due to this pandemic situation. The nature and the form of businesses are going a different shape. And in this situation, this pandemic situation demands more focus on nurturing these type of innovations and developing those products which will absolutely apt for this pandemic period. We can see a lot of changes taking place in the business operations, and a lot of products are being innovated to suit this pandemic situation. The companies are performing in different manners because those companies which are adopting these type of pandemic situations are those companies whose products are more suitable to these pandemic situations are performing very well in these days. So a lot of opportunities are given by this pandemic situation. Or the companies, or the people, or the innovators has a lot of scope to utilize these type of challenges or in these type of challenging periods. So for the present webinar, we have our dear principal, who is the real inspiration behind organizing these type of programs. We welcome Father to this program.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Father. Then we have as the resource person Mr. Anirudh KB, who is an expert in this field of entrepreneurship. So on behalf of the Department of Commerce and Thomas College, Entrepreneurship Club, and the Institutions Innovation Council, we extend our warm welcome to Sri Anirudh KB. Welcome, Anirudh sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Then we have the coordinator of the program, Ms. Jilna John, who is a vibrant teacher and organizer, and we extend a heartfelt welcome, dear Jilla Miss. And also we have Dr. George Nadavath, who is the president of the Institution Innovation Council of this college, and most welcome, Dr. Jones, to this program. And also there are teachers attending this program, and also the students who are participants in this program. And I extend a warm welcome to each one of you, and hope that this session and the interactions would utilize or give or enlightened us with a new type of innovations to be followed. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your stimulating words. Now, I would like to call upon Dr. Father Martin K.A., Principal in charge of St. Thomas College, Trishur, for rendering the inaugural address.
So, very good afternoon to one and all. Mr. Anurup KB, the founder of WEM Startup Coach, IED's coordinator, the resource person of the day, and Dr. Biju John M., the Dean of Arts and Humanities and HOD Department of Commerce, Professor Jilna John, the webinar convener, Dr. John Snudworth, the President of Institutions Innovation Council, and my dear faculty members, dear friends, dear students. So I'm happy that this is the third webinar going on this particular week, concerned with almost the same topic. And today's resource person, his name is itself, it's very, very indicative, symbolic. Anurup KB means Anurubanaya Manushyan, the apt person for this topic, Anurup KB. So his parents have the right name for you. Okay, your parents know by birth itself they have given you the right name, Anurup. So we want have a better person to talk about the same topic, and he has so many credentials to his credit, so many, he's handling so many things at the same time. So, and the topic is also very relevant, and a product fit for the market. Very interesting topic, product fit for the market, especially during the time of pandemic. And we know the different kinds of masks available in the market now. Different, so many varieties of masks, and each age and each situation gives us plenty of opportunity to come up with new products. And the first one coming up with that product will win the market. And so, I think Andrew will enhance us, enlighten us with this topic. I'm very glad that we are having this Department of Commerce as well as the ED Club, as well as the Innovation Institution Council, led by Dr. John Snudworth and the Jilna John and team, have come up with a great idea. With these words, with all your permission, I declare this webinar being inaugurated and hoping for a great day, a great session ahead. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir, for your enlightening words. Now, I would like to call upon Professor Jilna John, convener, St. Thomas College, Trishur, to introduce our resource person of this webinar.
Thank you, Ashwati. Respected Principal, Dr. Father Martin K.A., Head of the Research Department of Commerce, Dr. Biju John M., Resource Person of the Day, Mr. Anurup KB, faculty belongs to the Department of ECE, ASIET, dearest faculty members, and my dearmost students. Product market fit is a popular concept in the startup world, but it gets the attention of larger companies too. While broadly applied in conversations around new high growth, highly innovative companies, it seems to be more and more popular among bigger companies that struggle in launching new products and commercializing innovation. When a product is being ripped out of your hands by excited customers and business can't keep up with their demand for more, it's what you want. You have achieved the stage known as product market fit. Accomplishing product market fit is one of the most important goals for any company, any manager or founder who wants to launch a new product and get the return on investment eventually. It's evidence that the market expected specific innovation. You squeeze the missing puzzle and it fits the market. Right now, we are facing the adverse impact of pandemic in employment issues as well. And that makes it highly relevant to host a webinar like this. India's chronic and large-scale problems of health, of education, environment, and social exclusion must be the focus of innovation in startups. The duty vested upon me is to introduce the resource person of today's webinar, and I'm highly privileged to do the same. We have got the right person to comment on the topic under discussion today. Mr. Anurup KP is the faculty member in the Department of ACE, Adi Shankara Institute of Engineering and Technology, and he is the Regional Mentor of Change in Atal Innovation Mission. He is a startup coach, an entrepreneur, and the founder of VEMP. He is the coordinator of the Innovation and Entrepreneurship Development Center. He has got a highly experienced and demonstrated history of working in the fields of education, management, and industry. He is skilled in embedded system design, FPGA prototyping, 3D modeling, entrepreneurship development, and VLSI CAD. He has got a strong education and professional base with a master's degree focused in VLSI and embedded systems from Mahatma Gandhi University. We are eagerly waiting to hear from you, sir, on the topic building up innovation or product which is absolutely fit for the market. Over to you, Anurup, sir. Anurup, sir?
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for the introduction. So let me share my screen.
Yes.
Right, PPT is visible, right?
Yes, sir, it's visible.
So good evening, all. Today we will discuss about building an innovation or product fit for the market. Okay. So audience, please feel free to interact with me. Let this be an interactive session. So let's begin with a question. So here is a light bulb. So I will tell two statements. First one, light bulb is an invention. Second one, light bulb is an innovation. So which one is correct? Audience, please feel free to interact, please. Which one is right? Invention or an innovation? Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you're perfectly audible, and the audience are responding through the chat box.
Okay, fine. So invention. Okay, fine. So everybody claiming this as an invention. Any other comments? You can unmute your microphone and tell directly, no problem. No formalities, please. I got 4 answers. We have 82 members.
I believe a light bulb is an invention because uh, we didn't do much of creative. Uh, we didn't modify that particular thing. That means if we
Okay.
are mentioning the first invention of a bulb,
Okay.
no matter.
Okay. Good. Okay. So, how will you define an invention and how will you define an innovation? What exactly is the difference between invention and an innovation? Who's going to speak up? The exact difference between invention and innovation. So, we were talking about a lot of big things. Actually, I'm not interested in the big things. I wish to start from the very basics. So, if the basics are strong, then you can grow actually. Otherwise, it's not gonna happen. So you will have to make your basics strong, then everything will be perfect. So the question is, what exactly is the difference between invention and innovation? The exact difference between innovation and invention. Anyone?
Sir, I think invention means finding something new for the first time,
Yeah.
and innovation means making new changes or creative changes in invented things.
Yeah, that's a good answer. It's not perfect answer. Any other answers? Okay, let's move on. So please look at the slide. Invention is creation of something new and meaningful. Innovation is creation of something new and meaningful, and that creates value for the society. So a big difference, right? Innovation is creation of something new and meaningful. Innovation is creation of something new and meaningful and creates value for the society. So considering that both of them are different, both of them has got different definitions. Both of them are entirely different. Okay, so let's take the example of a wheel and a car. Wheel and a car. So wheel is an invention, right? Somebody invented wheel. Wheel is an inventor, and using this wheel alone, we can't do anything. So when we use this wheel for making bicycles, cars, or bikes, wheel became useful. It got some value. So wheel alone won't work. Wheel alone won't work. It won't help. But it is an invention. So that invention was used to create something productive and something which makes sense. Okay. So wheel alone won't work. Wheel is an invention, but it doesn't have any value alone. So that's it. That's the point. So considering all this, let me conclude about the light bulb scenario. So the light bulb actually is an innovation. Light bulb is an innovation. Why? Anyone? Light bulb is an innovation. I'm telling light bulb is an innovation. So what is the reason? From these definitions, any idea? New ideas? Okay. So the thing is, in 1802, Humphrey Davy, a scientist known as Humphrey Davy, invented the first electric light. The concept of electric light, the light bulb is a form of electric light, right? So the concept of electric light was first invented by the scientist Humphrey Davy. So after that, a series of modification was done on this light bulb by different scientists to improve its capacity and commercialization potential. So After all these games, the Edison came up with a practical incandescent lamp, which was later marketed by his own company in 1880. So what Edison did is he created a commercial product. He created an incandescent lamp which can be sold out. He created a value for that electric light. So in that, considering that this electric bulb is an innovation, it's not an invention. It was invented by Humphrey Davy. The first electric light was invented Humphrey Davy. Then all those modifications happened and it got some commercial value. So moving on, so how to innovate? So we spoke about innovation, the difference between innovation and invention. Now we clearly know what exactly is innovation and what exactly is invention. And the next question is how to innovate. Is there any specific formula or role to innovate or something like that? Fine. So, okay. So let me start with the design thinking approach. This is very important. So when we speak about creating a market fit product, design thinking is very, very important. We can't skip that topic. It's very important. So design thinking is a framework for innovation. It begins with developing an understanding of customer need, which means here the problems come first. Then we create an idea to solve the same. So the design thinking, in the design thinking approach, we are searching for the problem. We are searching for the problem, and then we will find a solution for the same. So that approach is known as design thinking. It's a framework for innovation. Okay. So moving on to an example. So any comments on the image? Any comments?
Is it a scanning device?
Yeah, it's a scanning device, but it's not an ordinary scanning device, right?
Yeah,
It's
I think
something
it's for
different.
the children.
Okay. So for the children means why this setup?
To make them feel comfortable while
Yeah,
inside the.
very good, very good, very good, very good. That's the right answer. So with this example, we can define the process of design thinking. Okay. So usually when we take children for scanning, they will get scared because of the ambience of that room, right? They will feel really scared. So what they did is visual transformation was done. The visual transformation of the machine was done to solve that issue. So ഈ സ്കാനിങ് റൂമിലേക്ക് കയറാൻ കുട്ടികൾ നന്നായിട്ട് മടിക്കും. കാരണം ഒരു പേടി ഉണ്ടാവും. കാരണം ഹോം അറ്റ്മോസ്ഫിയറിൽ നിന്ന് മാറി വേറൊരു അറ്റ്മോസ്ഫിയറിലേക്ക് എത്തുമ്പോൾ ഒരു പേടിയാണ്. So to avoid that, a visual transformation was done. A visual transformation was done to create a perfect ambience for children. So ഇതെങ്ങനെ സംഭവിച്ചു? How did this happen? So the thing is, we need to look through others' eye. In this case, we'll have to look through the children's eye. So we got a problem. Then we will have to create a solution for solving that issue. So, and this concept is known as empathy or empathize, which is the first step of design thinking. You'll have to see through others' eye to solve their problems, actually. So then if you are following that approach, your product will have some value. Otherwise, no one will buy your product. So these types of scanning machines will be purchased by pediatric department in a hospital, in a 5-star hospital or something. This do have a market scope because this product was created from a real problem. To make the children comfortable, we can do anything possible. So this is a perfect solution for that problem. And the design thinking approach, the first step, empathy, is applied over here. So that's it. So design thinking process. So this is a design thinking process. Obviously, it's a non-linear process. It has got feedbacks. So we will have to start from empathizing. So I have clearly explained what exactly is empathy and what is how to empathize. You will have to look through others' eye, or you will have to see through others' eye to know what exactly is the problem. After that, after finding the problem, you will have to define the problem. So definition means you'll have to put together the information you have created and gathered using the empathized stage, and you will have to clearly define what exactly is the problem. You will have to clearly state the characteristics, the features of all these problems, and all those things you will have to document it properly. So you can clearly, the problem definition should be precise, and it can be a one-line problem definition. And that's how you clearly define a particular problem. So from that problem, the remaining steps will happen. Okay. So that's a defined phase. You will have to clearly put together information you have created and gathered use during this empathize stage. That's it, definition. So then comes the ideation stage. So after definition, you will have to pool ideas. So how to solve this problem. So that's the ideation stage. You'll have to pool ideas to solve the particular problem. So that's the ideation phase. You can create multiple ideas. You can create thousands of ideas, and you can sort it down, and you can filter your ideas to select a good idea. You can discuss with your friend. You can brainstorm with your friends. You can discuss with experts, and finally you'll have to settle down, and you'll have to pick a particular idea, and you'll have to proceed with that idea. So that's the ideation phase. Now comes the prototyping phase. Prototyping. What exactly is prototype? What exactly is a prototype? Anyone? A prototype?
Sir, prototype means a model of the product which we are supposed to make.
Yeah, very good. It's a model of it's a model of your product which we are about to make, and there are different types of prototype. So I will let you know. So what about this? What exactly is displayed over the screen? Any idea? The image? Am I audible?
Yes, sir. I think
Yeah.
some sort of watch designed
Okay.
for.
Yeah. This is a prototype. This is a prototype of a smartwatch. This is a prototype of a smartwatch. What about this?
Sir, I think it's the testing of the prototype.
This is a prototype. This too is a prototype. Both of them are prototypes, but there are some difference.
It's an advanced
This,
form of prototype, I think.
yeah, that's the fidelity. The thing is fidelity. So how close your prototype is with the product. How close your prototype is with the product. That's fidelity. So this is a low fidelity prototype of a smartwatch, and this is a high fidelity prototype of a smartwatch. So there are two types of prototypes: low fidelity prototype and high fidelity prototype. So why I'm discussing all these things? So our aim is to create entrepreneurs. Our aim is to create entrepreneurs. So an entrepreneur should uh, know clearly about all these things. So all these concepts: prototyping, design thinking, business model, MVP, and all these things. You will have to clearly know about all these things. Then only you can create a product which is fit for the market. So finally, we started with empathize stage, and we look at the problem through others' eye. Then we defined our problem. Then we create idea for solving that problem. Then we created a prototype. Then we will have to test the prototype. So who will test your prototype? You will have to give it to the customers, or you will have to give it to your clients or something. Then you will have to take feedback. If we are getting negative feedbacks, you will have to switch back to the empathize phase and find another problem. Otherwise, you can move on to the ideate phase to modify your idea. So this is a non-linear process. So you'll have to start from empathize, and you'll have to end up in testing. If the testing fails, you'll have to go back to empathize, or you'll have to work on your idea. So a lot of iteration. You'll have to do a lot of iteration before getting a particular product ready for market. So moving on to the product market fit. So what exactly is product market fit? Any idea? Product market fit. Okay, fine. So the thing is, it is the degree to which a product satisfies a strong market demand. It's the degree to which a product satisfies a strong market demand. So in simple terms, the product market fit revolves around creating a product that fulfills the customer needs, which means building the exact features that solve a user's problem. Everything starts from a problem, right? So we will have to build exact features that solve a user's problem. So this concept, or a product like this, will be market fit. Right. So let me discuss about an example. So how many of you guys have heard about Netflix? Netflix? Okay, everyone. Yes, good. Definitely, it's famous. And how many of you guys know about the history of Netflix? History of Netflix. How did they start? Okay, so in earlier times, we used to take DVDs on a rental basis, right? We'll have to go to a shop, and we'll have to take DVDs on a rental basis, and we need to return the DVD within a particular time. Otherwise, they will charge extra. That was the main problem. So when we take DVDs for rent, we will have to return the DVDs within a particular time. Otherwise, they will charge extra. So it's a loss for the user. Extra payment without any value addition. It's a loss. So that was a problem with the DVD rental services. So Netflix provided to be a product market fit by mailing the DVDs to the users on a subscription basis. So what Netflix did, they send the DVDs via courier or something. Then the users can keep the DVDs as long as he wants. For example, if he wished to keep that DVD for 1 month, he can keep. If he wished to keep the DVD for 10 months, he can keep. This is on a subscription basis. So if he wished to purchase another DVD, he'll have to send this DVD back to Netflix. But there is no extra charge. So the user don't need to pay any extra charge for that. So that was the unique selling policy of Netflix. So it satisfied a strong market demand, and it became successful. So that was the USP of the Netflix, and that was a product market fit. So Netflix is an example of product market fit. But later on, what happened? the DVD trend started fading, right? The DVD trend started fading. Now no one is using DVDs. So what Netflix did? So Netflix came up with streaming service. They switched back from DVD rentals to streaming service on a subscription basis. And Netflix modified the business model to actually the Netflix modified business model several times. It's not a single time. They modified the business model several times to meet the customers' changing demand. So this is a perfect example of how a product market fit should be like. So based on the technology change, the status of our product may change, but you will have to change the business model to make our product market fit. So the Netflix switched from DVDs back to subscription service. So that at that time that was a perfect market fit. They had a lot of users, and that was a success, a huge success. That's why Netflix is going like a rocket. Fine. So that's all about product market fit. So I hope things are clear. What the intention was to make you aware about the business model change. You will, based on the technology, you will have to change the product. You will have to change the technology we are using. You will have to change the way you make money. Then that product will be a perfect market fit. You will have to change. You will have to do the iteration. You will have to keep on studying the market. You will have to do all sort of research. You will have to do the research on upcoming technologies, and then only we can achieve sustainability. So that's all about designing a product market fit or achieving a product market fit. So let's talk about our startup curve. So achieving product market fit is not a straightforward job. അത് എന്താ പറയാ ഒരു സ്ട്രേറ്റ് ഫോർവേഡ് പ്രോസസ് അല്ല. അത് ഒരുപാട് ഐട്രേഷൻസ് ഉണ്ട്, ഒരുപാട് എഫേർട്ട് ഉണ്ട്. യു വിൽ ഹാവ് ടു go through a lot of tough times. You will have to work hard. You will have to experiment. You will have to iterate, and after that, your product will start picking up. Then it will reach product market fit. So, what exactly is product market fit? So the thing is, നമ്മൾ ഡിസൈൻ ചെയ്യുന്ന അല്ലെങ്കിൽ നമ്മൾ ഉണ്ടാക്കിക്കൊണ്ടിരിക്കുന്ന പ്രോഡക്ട്സിന് ഒരു സ്ട്രോങ് കസ്റ്റമർ ബേസ് ഉണ്ടാവുക. That's the main point. The product should be able to create a perfect customer base. The sales should increase. The number of users should increase. And we are not talking about revenue in this phase. We are just talking about the number of users. So if your product is able to attract users, if your product is able to engage the users with your product, and if your product is able to have a sustainable relationship with your customers, then we can call it as a market fit product. So how will you do this? So what all things you will have to do for designing such a product? For that, you will have to focus on the customers. So as we discussed, empathize phase, which can be mapped to this phase. You'll have to target the customers, and you'll have to study about their needs, and then you'll have to propose a solution or propose a product, and that product should have some unique selling policy. If you're proposing a product, that product should have some unique selling policy. The company should have some unique selling policy, or that particular product should add some value. That particular product should be good compared to the competitors. So we're going to talk about unique selling policy, USP. So who's going to tell me what exactly is unique selling policy, USP? USP. Unique selling policy.
Sir, it means a selling policy which is exclusively for a particular company or a
Yeah, yeah, that's the right answer. A selling policy which is exclusively for a particular company. So, someone please give an example. For example, let me talk about Instagram. What was the unique selling policy? Instagram, USP of Instagram.
sir,
Anyone?
Insta is basically an entertaining application, but it generates revenue by providing advertisements.
Yeah, it's generate revenue by providing advertisement. So the thing is, we should focus on the customers. We should focus on the users. The revenue making, advertisement, everything comes after your customers. When you have users, when you have millions of users, then only you can generate money, you can provide advertisements. So you will have to attract the users first. You will have to attract the users first. So how will you attract the users, and how did Instagram attracted the users? It has got a huge user base, and that user base was because of their unique selling policy, and that unique selling policy was filters. Simple. The filters. So when you upload a photo in Instagram, you can use the filters. At that time, Facebook doesn't have that function. To upload a photo in Facebook, you will have to use some Photoshop or other editing tools to create a photo, and then you will have to upload in. It's not YouTube, Facebook, sorry. Then you will have to upload the photo in Facebook. But in case of Instagram, you just directly use your photo, and there are filters in Instagram. So the filters was impressive, and which boosted the confidence of the users. So that's how people got attracted to Instagram, and it has got a huge user base. It got a huge user base. After that, they will have to think about making money. They'll have to think about advertisement and all. Initially, our aim should be our USP. Our aim should be uh, make the users dependable, make the users you will have to create a bonding with your customers. So you'll have to focus on your USP. The filters made the user base for the Instagram, and in addition to that, the Instagram was user friendly. So this unique selling policy was behind the success of Instagram. Advertisement and all comes after user I mean after a strong user base only. Otherwise, nobody will give you money for advertisement. If you have a strong user base, then companies will give you money for advertisements. Otherwise, nobody will give you money. So that's the concept of unique selling policy. So you'll have to focus on your unique selling policy. Then comes the minimum viable product, MVP. So any idea about minimum viable product? Minimum viable product. So I'll tell an example. So I assume that I'm gonna create something big. So if I am spending all my money to create a perfect product, and the final product, if I am taking to the customer, and the customer is not interested to buy that product, what will happen? ഞാനൊരു പ്രോഡക്റ്റ് ഉണ്ടാക്കി, ഞാൻ ആ പ്രോഡക്റ്റ് ഉണ്ടാക്കി, എൻ്റെ കയ്യിലുള്ള കംപ്ലീറ്റ് ക്യാഷും മുടക്കി ഞാനൊരു പെർഫെക്റ്റ് പ്രോഡക്റ്റ് ഉണ്ടാക്കി. ആ പ്രോഡക്റ്റ് എടുത്തുകൊണ്ട് പോയി ഞാൻ കസ്റ്റമറിന് കൊടുത്തു. കസ്റ്റമർ പറയുകയാണ് ഇത് എനിക്ക് താല്പര്യമില്ല, ഒരു സുഖമില്ല യൂസ് ചെയ്യാൻ എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ എന്താണ് സംഭവിക്കുക? വാട്ട് വിൽ ഹാപ്പൻ?
I think you receive proper data on how the expectation of a customer is, feedback system.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. If we are creating a product, if you are creating a final product directly, so if the user or the customer or your client rejects that product, then it will be huge loss for your company. All the investment will be lost. You'll have to redesign the product, or you'll have to remote. So it's a huge investment. So the thing is, before launching the final product, we will have to design a minimum viable product. So the minimum viable product will be having some features. of the final product. Not all the features, but the necessary features will be there in the minimum viable product. So the investment will be less compared to the final product. So we will have to use this minimum viable product for testing. You will have to take this minimum viable product for testing. So if the customer gets attracted to your minimum viable product, which means this thing is gonna hit the market. So this thing is gonna hit product market fit. So we can calculate, or we can predict the product market fit based on the customer base of your minimum viable product. If more than 40% of the customers are attracted to the minimum viable product, we can expect a product market fit. Okay, so that's a concept. So you don't need to wait till the final launch of the product. So before that, you can launch your minimum viable product to take feedback from the users and customers and experts. And finally, you will get a clear feedback on your product market fit. Otherwise, it's not possible for anyone to predict product market fit and work for something. So you will have to create at least an MVP, and you will have to deploy the MVP to calculate whether this is gonna successful in the market. So there is no other shortcut for making a product market fit. So next is the user experience. So it's very, very important. The user experience is very, very important. The thing is, if you have a product and this product has got multiple features, tons of features, hundreds of features, but if the user is not able to use this particular product properly, if they are confused with the number of features, if they are confused with the layout, if they are confused with the buttons and menu, which means your product is going to fail. So the user experience should be perfect. Otherwise, your product will fail. So you'll have to focus on the user experience. So make it simple. That's a mantra. Make it simple, so everyone can understand, or how to use your device, or how to use your product. So user experience is very important. So that's it. Then you'll have to go for testing. If, as I said, if more than 40% of the customers is okay with your product, then you can proceed with the final product design and all those things. Otherwise, you'll have to iterate, or otherwise you have to come back to the target customers and redesign your solution. And sometimes you will have to scrap your product also. So that's it. So to achieve a product market fit, you will have to go in this way. And the most important thing is the MVP design and user experience. So in simple terms, when do I have a true product market fit? The thing is, you have a product people want. As I said, you will have to empathize. You'll have to empathize. You'll have to understand what exactly is the user need, and you will have to create a product that people want. The first point is that. Then comes, you can find and keep those people sustainably. As I said earlier, once they use your product, they should continuously depend on your product. So that's the sustainability. The people should depend on your product. That's one secret mantra. So first one is, you'll have to make something that someone will buy. Otherwise, it's not going to happen. Next one is, we'll have to try to make the users dependent on your product. So third one, you can make profit. You'll have to make some profit by selling this product. Otherwise, this is going to be a failure. If your product is good, if you have made a product which is having some requirement, fine. Then the users are depending on your product, fine. But if you are not able to make money from that product, from selling that product, your product is gonna become a failure. So all these three things are important. So this is in simple terms. Moving on to the technical definitions of all these things. The concept is desirability, viability, and feasibility. desirability, viability, and feasibility. So, what exactly is desirability? There must be a large market of people who really need your solution. Actually, there should be a user base for your solution, a huge user base for your solution. So that is desirability. Then feasibility. A product that you have been able to actually build that properly solves the problem, which means from the problem you have created a solution. Should or papers, pen and papers, it should physically solve that problem. Then only we can say that your solution is feasible. So to make a product market fit, you'll have to focus on the desirability. You'll have to choose a problem or choose a product which is desirable. Then you'll have to check the feasibility, whether this idea is going to work, whether it is possible to practically implement your idea, whether you're going to make whether your decision is right. That's all about the feasibility. So then comes the viability. So viability means you should have to make some real money, not in papers, but will have to make real money. So how will you focus on that? That part is very important. Here, most of the startups. So we are dealing with more than 10 startups per year. So most of the startups are not able to make the money. There is desirability, there is feasibility, but the viability part they are not gonna they are not picking up. They are not able to create a good business model. So that's the problem. So my suggestion is to create a business model first. So that will create all the problems. So you will get a clear idea from the business model about the cost, about the resources need, about the expenditures. Everything will be available in the business model. Looking at the business model, we can predict a lot of things. So key part a question for you. Business model. Any idea?
I think it's the a particular company's whole plan for making something like that.
Yeah, almost correct. The thing is, you have a solution. You have a problem, then you came up with a solution. You will have to physically implement this solution, right? You will have to implement this solution. So while creating a solution or while creating a product, there are a lot of things you'll have to consider. There are different types of resources. There are different costs involved, hidden charges involved, fixed costs, variable costs. All those things are involved. So to get a clear picture of what's happening, or to get a clear picture of what will happen to your product, you will have to draw a business model canvas. So I'll let you know. So this is a business model canvas. So the details regarding key partners, key activities, key resources, value proposition, customer relationship channels, customer segments, cost structures, revenue streams, etc. You'll have to mention. So when you're pitching your project, or when you're pitching your product idea for funding, they will ask for business model canvas. They will definitely ask for business model canvas, and using this, the investors will make the decision on whether they wish to invest, whether they need to invest in your company or not. So that's the point. The investors will look at the business model and then they will make the decision. So the business model canvas is very important. You'll have to understand the business model canvas. So we can uh, first comes the key partners. Obviously, if you are launching a product, there will be partners. For example, there will be dependencies. There will be resources acquiring from partners. For example, assume that I'm going to design a mobile phone. So the mobile phone has got a lot of components. Display is there, battery is there, and the casing is the processing system is there. It's not possible for a particular company to make all the components. It's not possible for Samsung to design everything. So Samsung will have to depend on some partners. So the battery, they will be purchasing battery from their partners. They will be purchasing their ICs from another partner. So you will have to take care of that. Who all are the key partners? Then comes the key activities. What are things you're going to do? So what all things will do when a problem arises? How will you solve that problem? All these things you will have to take care. You will have to mention. Then comes a value proposition. As we mentioned, so why a user should pay? That's a point. Why someone should pay for your product? Why someone should buy your product? That's a point of value proposition. You will have to mention all those things. Then comes the customer relationships. Everyone know. Then comes the channels. The channels is very important. So you have made a lot of huge volume of product, and you don't know how to sell this product. That's going to be a failure. If your product is very good, the product will be very good, but if you don't know how to sell the product, how to reach the customers, then it's going to be a great problem. So for that, you will have to think about the channels through which you will reach the customers. Okay, so it can be through distributors and all those things. So that's a practical side. I'm not going to discuss that now. So that's all about channels. Then comes the customer segments. So for whom you are creating your product, you will have to clearly mention that. If it's upper middle class, if it's for male or female, if it's for students or kids, like that, you will have to focus on the customer segments for which who's your target customers. You'll have to clearly mention that. You'll have to clearly mention why you're making this product for that customer segments. If you're able to clearly mention that, the VC will be happy. Otherwise, the funding agency will be happy. So then comes the cost structure. The thing is, there will be a lot of hidden cost. So I'll tell an example. Let's take the case of a automatic hand sanitizer dispenser. ഒരു ഓട്ടോമാറ്റിക് ഹാൻഡ് സാനിറ്റൈസർ ഡിസ്പെൻസർ ഉണ്ടാക്കാൻ വേണ്ടിയിട്ട് എന്തൊക്കെ കോസ്റ്റ് വരും എന്നൊന്ന് പറയാമോ? ജസ്റ്റ് ഗസ് മതി. I don't need an exact picture. Just give me some random heads. That's it. So to create an automatic hand sanitizer dispenser, you will have to spend some money, right? So in what all segments, what all heads, under what all heads? Any idea? Automatic hand sanitizer dispenser.
Sir, I think the main thing is a sanitizer, and it should have sensor to detect our hands.
Yeah, very good, very good. Yeah. So we can make it under the head electronics, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, electronics. It's a head under electronics. You will have to spend some money. Then any other answers? Anyone? Okay, fine. I will let you know. So I wish to create an automatic hand sanitizer dispenser. So I will have to spend some money on the electronics. I will have to spend some money on the casing. I will have to spend some money on the packaging. I will have to spend some money on the labor. Definitely labor is required. I will have to spend some money on the transportation. I will have to spend some money on distribution. I will have to spend some money on advertisements. I will have to spend some tax. I'll have to pay the tax. So among this, there are fixed costs and variable costs. For example, if the MRP is fixed, the tax will be fixed, and it can change based on the number of items sold, right? If you are selling 10 units, the tax will be 18% of that. If you're selling 1,000 units, the tax will be vary. It's a variable place. It can vary based on your product, user base. So there are some fixed costs. Any examples? Fixed cost. For example, salary will be fixed, right? If you are having 10 members, it will be fixed. The rent will be fixed, and all those things will be fixed. So such costs are known as fixed cost. And the variable cost, for example, the tax you pay for the product, it can vary based on the number of products you sell. So when you are thinking about the cost of a manufacturing, it's a complex thing. It's not possible to explain it here. It's a very complicated thing, and you'll have to write it down under different heads. So when you calculate this complex thing, you will get a huge amount. If that amount is greater than your MRP, it's going to be a huge loss. So before selling, you'll have to create a cost structure. Before selling a product, you will have to create cost structure. You will have to create an Excel sheet, and you will have to mention the variable cost, fixed cost, and all those things. And you'll have to definitely mention your margin, and you will have to calculate everything to fix your selling price. That's how you fix your selling price. Otherwise, it's not gonna work. Okay. Then comes the revenue streams, how to create revenue from the product. So all these things will come under the business model canvas. So when you're going for a pitching, you will have to create a business model like this. You'll have to create a business model like this, and you'll have to pitch using your business model canvas. So moving on. So the startup success rate is 10%. It's a sad truth. Only 10% of the startup will get succeeded. Other 90% will fail. This is a sad truth. The thing is, what will be the reason for this failure? First one, no market need. If a startup is creating a product which doesn't have any user base, if the users are not going to use that product, then it will be a failure. In most of the cases, the most important thing is that market need. Some of the startups will start loving their idea. Never love your idea. You don't need to love your idea. You don't need to love your idea. Most of the startups will be in deep love with their idea. And if someone tells any negative things about their idea, they will get frustrated and they will start making their idea. Finally, they will move on to the failure. So the thing is, you don't need to think about your idea every time. You will have to think about the practical side. You'll have to focus on the practical side. You will have to focus on the physical figures. So that is very important. It should be practical. So if you have a confidence that this is going to work, then you can proceed. You don't need to hear anyone, but it should be practical. So that's all about the market need. Then ran out of cash. If you fail to raise enough fund for designing a product, it will you'll have to drop your idea and you'll have to go for something else. So that's it. So like this, a lot of things are listed here. So these two are the main things. Then comes a poor product. If your product is bad, nobody will purchase your product. So that's another point. And the most important thing is the team. Actually, according to me, the team is very important. If you have a strong team, the percentage of success will be, or the probability of success will be very high. So that's about the probability of success of a startup. So you'll have to think about the market need and the money you need to invest and the quality of your product. You'll have to focus on all these things to create a successful startup. So I will tell you some real life examples. These are some of the products which we created using the pandemic time. Here is a ultraviolet sterilization unit, and all these things are available in the market. And we made an automatic hand sanitizer dispenser. and two different types of automatic hand sanitizer dispenser, and we got a market hit here. We sold nearly 3,000 automatic hand sanitizer dispensers by the last 2 years, and still we are selling that. The brand name is Hygia. We have one more model, Droplet. So in total, we have spent more than 3,000 units of automatic hand sanitizer dispenser. So which was at that time, that was the right product, and we got a market hit. So that's it. We made UV disinfection robo and handheld UV disinfection and pedal based water dispenser, fogger, and and the oxygen concentrator. All these things we made during this pandemic period. And the thing is, ഞാനിപ്പോ ഇതിവിടെ പ്രസന്റ് ചെയ്യാൻ കാരണം ഇത്രയും പ്രോഡക്ട്സ് നമ്മൾ ഉണ്ടാക്കിയിട്ട് രണ്ട് പ്രോഡക്റ്റ് ആണ് നമ്മൾക്ക് സ്കെയിൽ ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റിയത്. ഇത് സ്കെയിലബിൾ പ്രോഡക്ട്സ്. കാരണം അത് സസ്റ്റൈനബിൾ ആയിട്ട് ആൾക്കാർ യൂസ്. ഫോർ എക്സാമ്പിൾ ഇപ്പോൾ ഓട്ടോമാറ്റിക് ഹാൻഡ് സാനിറ്റൈസറിന്റെ യൂസ് ഇപ്പോ ഡിപ്രീസിയേഷനിലാണ്, വളരെ കുറച്ചാണ് അതിന്റെ മൂവ്മെന്റ്. ആദ്യം ഒരു 3,000 യൂണിറ്റ്സ് വരെ നമ്മൾ എത്തിയെങ്കിലും ഇപ്പോൾ അതിന്റെ സെയിൽസ് വളരെ കുറവാണ്. ബട്ട് there are some scalable products among this. അതിലൊരു മെയിൻ തിങ് ആണ് വെർച്വൽ ഇവന്റ് മാനേജ്മെന്റ് പ്ലാറ്റ്ഫോം, വെംപ്, വെർച്വൽ ഇവന്റ് മാനേജ്മെന്റ് പ്ലാറ്റ്ഫോം. അത് ഒരു സ്കെയിലബിൾ പ്രോഡക്റ്റ് ആണ്. ഇപ്പോൾ അതിന് ഇന്റർനാഷണൽ ക്ലയൻസ് ഉണ്ട്, പല പല സ്ഥലങ്ങളിൽ അതിപ്പോൾ യൂസ് ചെയ്തുകൊണ്ടിരിക്കുന്നുണ്ട്. നമ്മളുടെ എക്സ്പോസ് ഒക്കെ ഉണ്ട്, എക്സ്പോസ് ആൻഡ് meetings and all those things can be created virtually using the virtual event management platform. You can sign into vem.in for learning about that product. So using a VR headset, using an augmented reality headset, you can explore through the entire world, which is designed using rendering. And that's all about the virtual event management platform. It is highly scalable and is used by international clients. So then comes the pulse oximeter, and I think this is one of the first made in Kerala pulse oximeter, and we got a good user base for this pulse oximeter, and we are in the pilot stage. So then comes professional certificate management platform pronetin.com. This is also used by international clients, and this is used by central government, state government, and some international clients are there for Pronetin. It's a highly scalable product which is designed by us. All these are the real life examples I have to share with you guys. So any questions?
Thank you so much, sir. We are grateful for the time and effort you took to share your thoughts, and it was a pleasure to listen to you. Once again, thank you so much, sir. Now it's time for the question and answer session. Starting with, sir, how can we succeed in an innovation? Is it simple, or like, is there any process or something like that?
Actually, if it creates value, it will get succeed, right?
Yeah.
If you're innovating something, and if you have a huge number of people who's gonna use this innovation, then
Yes.
it will be a success. You can create money out of that innovation, and
Yes.
you can take that innovation to success. That depends upon the business model. That's it.
Oh, fine. Is there any other question? You can come up, please.
സാർ എനിക്കൊരു ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ ഉണ്ട്, മലയാളത്തിലാണ് ചോദിക്കുന്നത്. അപ്പോ ഒരാൾ ഒരു ഇന്നോവേറ്റീവ് പ്രൊഡക്റ്റിന് വേണ്ടി സമയം ചെലവഴിക്കുകയാണെങ്കിൽ ആൾ എത്ര നാള് വേണം എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ, ഇപ്പൊ അത് ഫെയിലിയർ ആവാം, സക്സസ് ആവാം. അപ്പൊ ഫെയിലിയർ കണ്ടിന്യൂ ചെയ്താൽ എന്ന് പറയാ, എന്തായാലും ഒരാളുടെ ലൈഫ് പീരീഡിൽ ഇത്ര കാലഘട്ടം അയാൾക്ക് എന്തായാലും ഇതിനു വേണ്ടിയിട്ട് മാറ്റി വെക്കേണ്ടി വരുമല്ലോ. അപ്പോ അത് ചുരുങ്ങിയത് എങ്ങനെയാ? ഫെയിലിയർ എത്ര അറ്റം വരെയാണോ, അതോ മടുക്കണ വരെയാണോ, അതോ അത് പാസ് ആവണ വരെയാണോ? എങ്ങനെയാ അതിന്റെ ഒരു ഇത്?
ഇത് ശരിക്കും ഞാനൊരു റിയൽ ലൈഫ് എക്സാമ്പിൾ പറയുവാണെങ്കിൽ ഞാൻ കാണിച്ചു തരാം. ഇപ്പോ എന്റെ കയ്യിലിരിക്കുന്ന ഡിവൈസ് കാണുന്നുണ്ടോ?
കാണും.
ഇത് ഞാൻ 2 വർഷമായി ട്രൈ ചെയ്തുകൊണ്ടിരിക്കുന്നത് ക്രിയേറ്റ് ചെയ്യാൻ വേണ്ടിയിട്ട്. ഇപ്പോഴാണ് അതിനൊരു നമ്മൾക്ക് ആക്ച്വലി ഒരു എന്തെങ്കിലും ഒരു എന്താ പറയാ ഒരു 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 പ്രൊഡക്റ്റ് ഫിനിഷ് വന്നത്, ഇതൊരു പ്രോഡക്റ്റ് ആയത് ഇപ്പോഴാണ്. കാരണം ഇത് 2 years ആയിട്ട് R&D നടന്നുകൊണ്ടിരിക്കുന്ന പ്രോജക്റ്റ് ആണ്. പക്ഷെ ഇപ്പോഴാണ് നമ്മൾക്ക് അതിന് യൂസർ ബേസ് വന്നതും ഇപ്പോഴാണ് അതിന് ആവശ്യക്കാർ വന്നതും. ഇതിന്റെ ഒരു പ്രശ്നം എന്താന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ, നമ്മളിപ്പോ കേരളത്തിൽ ഒരു ഹാർഡ്വെയർ പ്രൊജക്ട് ഉണ്ടാക്കുവാണെങ്കിൽ, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഇന്ത്യയിൽ ഒരു ഹാർഡ്വെയർ പ്രൊജക്ട് ഉണ്ടാക്കുവാണെങ്കിൽ അത് സക്സസ് ആവാത്തതിന്റെ റീസൺ ചൈനയിൽ നിന്ന് അതിന്റെ കോപ്പീസ് അപ്പൊ തന്നെ വരും. പെട്ടെന്ന് അതിന്റെ കോപ്പീസ് അപ്പൊ തന്നെ വരുന്നത് കൊണ്ടാണ് ഹാർഡ്വെയർ പ്രൊഡക്ട്സ് സക്സസ് ആവാത്തത്. പക്ഷെ നമ്മൾ 2 വർഷം എടുത്തിട്ടാണ് ഒരു പ്രൊഡക്റ്റ് ഉണ്ടാക്കുന്നതെങ്കിൽ ഡെഫിനറ്റ്ലി അത് പെട്ടെന്ന് കോപ്പി അടിക്കാൻ പറ്റില്ല. അങ്ങനത്തെ കേസിൽ നമ്മളിപ്പോ 2 വർഷം സ്പെൻഡ് ചെയ്ത് അങ്ങനെ ഒരു പ്രോഡക്റ്റ് ഉണ്ടാക്കിയാൽ ഡെഫിനറ്റ്ലി നമ്മൾക്ക് സക്സസ് ഉണ്ടാവും. ആ ഒരു കോൺഫിഡൻസിൽ നമ്മൾക്ക് വർക്ക് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റും. അപ്പോ നമ്മൾ ആക്ച്വലി ഒരു പ്രോഡക്റ്റ് ഉണ്ടാക്കുമ്പോൾ നമ്മളുടെ മൈൻഡിൽ ഉണ്ടാവുമല്ലോ, നമ്മൾ അതിനെ സ്പ്ലിറ്റ് അപ്പ് ഉണ്ടാക്കും. ഫോർ എക്സാമ്പിൾ, ആദ്യത്തെ 1 മാസം കൊണ്ട് ഞാൻ ഇത്ര എത്തിക്കും, പിന്നത്തെ 1 മാസം കൊണ്ട് ഇത്ര എത്തിക്കും. നമ്മളുടെ മനസ്സിൽ ഒരു ടൈം ലൈൻ ഉണ്ടാവുമല്ലോ ഒരു പ്രോഡക്റ്റ് ഉണ്ടാക്കാൻ. ആ ടൈം ലൈനിൽ സ്റ്റിക്ക് ഓൺ ചെയ്താണ് പോകുന്നതെങ്കിൽ ഡെഫിനറ്റ്ലി നിങ്ങൾ സക്സസിൽ എത്താൻ പറ്റും. അത് അങ്ങനെയാണ്. കാരണം നമ്മളിപ്പോ കഴിഞ്ഞൊരു 4-5 വർഷമായിട്ട് ഞാൻ ഈ ഫീൽഡിൽ വർക്ക് ചെയ്തുകൊണ്ടിരിക്കുകയാണ്. മോർ ദാൻ 40 സ്റ്റാർട്ടപ്സ് ആയിട്ട് വർക്ക് ചെയ്തു. അതിലിപ്പോ 10 സ്റ്റാർട്ടപ്സ് സക്സസ്ഫുൾ ആണ്. ഇപ്പോ അത് അവരുടെ ലൈഫ് ജേർണി ഇങ്ങനെയായിരുന്നു. മോർ ദാൻ 2 years സ്പെൻഡ് ചെയ്തിട്ടാണ് ഒരു നല്ല പ്രൊഡക്റ്റിലേക്ക് എത്തിയത്. ഇപ്പോൾ ഞാൻ ഇത്തിരി മുമ്പ് പറഞ്ഞ വെർച്വൽ ഇവന്റ് മാനേജ്മെന്റ് പ്ലാറ്റ്ഫോം നമ്മൾ ഡിസൈൻ ചെയ്തത് 6 മാസം കൊണ്ടാണ്. അത് പെട്ടെന്ന് അങ്ങോട്ട് കയറി ഹിറ്റുമായി. അപ്പോ അത് പ്രഡിക്റ്റ് ചെയ്യാന്ന് പറഞ്ഞു കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ അത് ഇറ്റ്സ് ഇമ്പോസിബിൾ. ബട്ട് നമ്മളുടെ മനസ്സിലൊരു പ്ലാൻ ഉണ്ടായാൽ മതി. എത്ര നാളുകൊണ്ട് ഞാൻ ഈ പ്രൊഡക്റ്റ് ഉണ്ടാക്കി തീരും, അത് എനിക്കൊരു പ്ലാൻ വേണം. ആ പ്ലാൻ ഇല്ലാതെ ഒന്നിലേക്കും പോകരുത്. ഇപ്പൊ ഞാനൊരു പ്രൊഡക്റ്റ് ഉണ്ടാക്കാൻ പോവാണ്, എനിക്കിത് എന്റെ മനസ്സിൽ ഒരു കാൽക്കുലേഷൻ ഇല്ലെങ്കിൽ അതിലേക്ക് ചാടാതിരിക്കുന്നതാണ് നല്ലത്. നമ്മളൊരു മൈൻഡിൽ ഒരു കാൽക്കുലേഷൻ ഉണ്ടാക്കണം, അതിന്റെ കോംപ്ലക്സിറ്റിനെ കുറിച്ച് കാൽക്കുലേഷൻ ഉണ്ടാക്കണം, അതിന് എത്ര രൂപ ഇൻവെസ്റ്റ് ചെയ്യണം എന്ന് കാൽക്കുലേഷൻ ഉണ്ടാക്കണം, ആരെയൊക്കെ കോണ്ടാക്ട് ചെയ്യണം, ആരെയൊക്കെ പാർട്ട്ണർ ആക്കണം എന്ന് ഐഡിയ ഉണ്ടാവണം. ഈ ഐഡിയ ഉണ്ടാക്കിയിട്ട് മാത്രമേ നമ്മൾ ഇതിലേക്ക് ഇറങ്ങാൻ പാടുള്ളൂ. അതല്ലെങ്കിൽ നമ്മളൊരു കടലിന്റെ നടുവിൽ ചെന്ന് നിൽക്കുന്ന പോലെ ആയിപ്പോ. റൈറ്റ് പ്ലാൻ ഉണ്ടെങ്കിൽ ഡെഫിനറ്റ്ലി യു ക്യാൻ വെയിറ്റ്. നിങ്ങളുടെ ഒരു കറക്റ്റ് പ്ലാൻ ഉണ്ടെങ്കിൽ നിങ്ങൾക്ക് 5 വർഷം വരെ വേണമെങ്കിൽ ഇതിനു വേണ്ടി വെയിറ്റ് ചെയ്യാം. ഒരു കമ്പനി പ്രോഫിറ്റിൽ എത്തിക്കാൻ എന്തായാലും 5 years ഒക്കെ എടുക്കും.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Sir, we have another question. Sibyl, please continue.
എനിക്ക് ഇത് റിലേറ്റഡ് ആയിട്ട് ഒരു ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ തന്നെയാണ്. ഇപ്പൊ സാർ ഓക്സിമീറ്റർ, പൾസ് ഓക്സിമീറ്ററിനെ കുറിച്ച് റെഫർ ചെയ്തു. അപ്പോ ഇതിന്റെ കുറെ അപ്ലിക്കേഷൻ മോഡൽസ് അവൈലബിൾ ആണ് പ്ലേ സ്റ്റോറിൽ. അതൊക്കെ എന്നുവെച്ചാൽ അത്രയും വയബിൾ ആയിട്ടുള്ള ഒരു ആക്ച്വൽ ഫങ്ഷനിങ് ആപ്ലിക്കേഷൻസ് ആണോ ഇതിനൊക്കെ?
ഒരു കാര്യം പറയുന്നത് എങ്ങനെ എന്താന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ, നമ്മളെ കയ്യിൽ ഒരു മൊബൈൽ ഫോൺ ഉണ്ട്. ആ മൊബൈൽ ഫോണിന്റെ അകത്ത് പൾസ് ഓക്സിമീറ്ററിന്റെ സെൻസർ ഉണ്ടെങ്കിൽ മാത്രമാണ് നമ്മൾക്ക് മൊബൈൽ ഫോൺ വെച്ചിട്ട് ഓക്സിജൻ സാച്ചുറേഷൻ മെഷർ ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റുള്ളൂ. അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഒരിക്കലും നമ്മൾക്ക് മൊബൈൽ ഫോൺ വെച്ചിട്ട് ഒരു ആപ്പ് ഉണ്ടെങ്കിലും നമ്മൾക്ക് മൊബൈൽ ഫോൺ വെച്ചിട്ട് ഓക്സിജൻ സാച്ചുറേഷൻ മെഷർ ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റില്ല. നമ്മളുടെ മൊബൈൽ ഫോണിന്റെ അകത്ത് പൾസ് ഓക്സിമീറ്ററിന്റെ സെൻസർ ഉണ്ടെങ്കിൽ മാത്രമേ നമ്മൾക്ക് ഓക്സിജൻ സാച്ചുറേഷൻ മെഷർ ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റുള്ളൂ. അതല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഒരു ആപ്പ് യൂസ് ചെയ്തിട്ടും കാര്യമില്ല. പിന്നെ അതിന്റെ റിസൾട്ട് ആക്യുറേറ്റ് അല്ല. എന്റെ മൊബൈല്, ഞാൻ ഇപ്പൊ യൂസ് ചെയ്യുന്ന മൊബൈലല്ല, എന്റെ മെയിൻ മൊബൈല് സാംസങ് ഗാലക്സി S10+ ആണ്. ഈ S10+ അകത്തും ഒരു നല്ലൊരു പൾസ് ഓക്സിമീറ്റർ സെൻസർ ഉണ്ട്. ബട്ട് അതിൽ നിന്ന് കിട്ടുന്ന വാല്യൂ അത് കൺസിസ്റ്റന്റ് അല്ല. അത് എറർ വാല്യൂസ് ആണ്. എനിക്ക് 93, 94 ഒക്കെയാണ് വാല്യൂ കിട്ടുന്നത്. പക്ഷെ എന്റെ ആക്ച്വൽ വാല്യൂ ഞാൻ ടെസ്റ്റ് ചെയ്തപ്പോൾ ഇറ്റ് വാസ് 97 and 98. അതുകൊണ്ട് ഒരിക്കലും മൊബൈൽ ഫോൺ യൂസ് ചെയ്തിട്ട് നമ്മൾക്ക് പ്രോപ്പർ ആയിട്ട് പൾസ് ഓക്സിജൻ സാച്ചുറേഷൻ മെഷർ ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റില്ല എന്നാണ് എന്റെ വിശ്വാസം. അറ്റ്ലീസ്റ്റ് എന്റെ മൊബൈലിൽ കിട്ടില്ല. ഞാൻ കമ്പയർ ചെയ്താണ് എന്റെ മൊബൈലും പിന്നെ ICUയിലേക്ക് എടുക്കുന്ന മെഷറിംഗ് എക്യുപ്മെന്റും വെച്ച് ഞാൻ കമ്പയർ ചെയ്താണ്. രണ്ടും ഡിഫറെന്റ് ആണ്. അപ്പോ it's not possible actually. Using an application is not possible. If you have a pulse oximeter sensor in your mobile phone, you can measure.
Sir, we have another question. It goes on like this. How can innovation made on traditional products to cope up in the market so that to attract attention on traditional goods, which is losing market now?
So, actually, we can modify the traditional products. For example, in most of the traditional products, it will be having a lesser amount of shelf life. So we can add something to create a better product which is having a bigger shelf life. Food processing, for example, a lot of food processing techniques can be applied to create great value out of traditional products. Like that, you can modify that. Everything depends on your idea, actually. So nobody can tell what to do. You will have to think about an idea, and you will have to come up with your idea. If someone else is advising you, they can do it, right? Instead of you. So you will have to create an idea. That's it.
Okay,
One
sir.
example is food processing. The traditional food items can be exported using this technique, by increasing the shelf life. That's it.
Okay, sir. And Aishwarya MS have asked, according to your opinion, which existing product is in a direct need of innovation?
So the electric cars, right? Electric cars. So in electric cars, we are using batteries. These batteries are a real killer. It has got a lot of chemicals and a lot of harmful components. When we discard the batteries, it will end up as an e-waste. It will end up as a hazard. So you will have to create big, create very good batteries. You will have to create bio batteries, actually. That's it. Or you can use hydrogen fuel, or you can use some nuclear reactors, mini nuclear reactors inside the car for creating energy. So it has got a lot of innovation. The energy part, energy generation is very important. If you are able to create something new, definitely you're going to become a millionaire.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Is there any other questions?
Sir,
പറഞ്ഞോളൂ.
ഇപ്പോ ഇന്നോവേറ്റീവ് ആയിട്ട് നമ്മളൊരു ഐഡിയ കൊണ്ടുവന്നു, പക്ഷെ ഇപ്പോഴത്തെ ഒരു പാൻഡമിക് സിറ്റുവേഷനിൽ മാർക്കറ്റിംഗ് കൂടുതലായിട്ടും ഓൺലൈൻ മീഡിയാസ് വഴിയാണല്ലോ, ഓൺലൈൻ മെത്തേഡ് കൂടെ നമുക്ക് അവൈലബിൾ ആവുള്ളൂ. അപ്പോ സാധാരണ ഒരാൾക്ക് ഇത്തരം ടെക്നിക്കുകൾ എങ്ങനെയാണ് ലീസ്റ്റ് കോസ്റ്റിൽ അവൈലബിൾ ആവുക? അതിനുള്ള സാധ്യതകളെ കുറിച്ച് പറയൂ.
ഷുവർ. ഇപ്പോ പേര് നവനീത് എന്നല്ലേ? നവനീത് പറഞ്ഞത് ഒരു വളരെ സ്ട്രോങ് ആയിട്ടുള്ളൊരു കൺസേൺ ആണ്. കാരണം ഒരുപാട് പേർക്ക് ആക്ച്വലി ഇപ്പോൾ ഈ പറഞ്ഞ പോലെ പുതിയ മാർക്കറ്റിംഗ് രീതികളിലേക്കോ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ പുതിയതായ രീതിയിൽ ടെക്നിക്സിലേക്കോ ഒന്നും ഒരു എൻട്രി ഇല്ല. പക്ഷെ ഈ എൻട്രി കിട്ടാൻ വേണ്ടിയിട്ട് ഒരുപാട് കാര്യങ്ങൾ നമ്മളുടെ ഗവൺമെന്റ് ഇവിടെ ചെയ്തു വെച്ചിട്ടുണ്ട്. അതിലൊന്നാണ് ഇൻക്യുബേറ്റേഴ്സ്. നമ്മളുടെ കേരളത്തിൽ ഒരുപാട് ഇൻക്യുബേറ്റേഴ്സ് ഉണ്ട്. ഇപ്പൊ ഞങ്ങളുടെ ഫെസിലിറ്റിയിൽ ഒരു ഇൻക്യുബേറ്റർ ഉണ്ട്. അതിന് ആദിശങ്കര ടെക്നോളജി ബിസിനസ് ഇൻക്യുബേറ്റർ എന്നാണ് പറയുന്നത്. ഇപ്പോൾ ഒരാളുണ്ട്, ഒരു വ്യക്തിയുണ്ട്, അവരുടെ നല്ലൊരു പ്രോഡക്റ്റ് ആണ്. ഈ പാൻഡമിക് കാരണം അവർക്ക് പ്രോപ്പറായിട്ട് മാർക്കറ്റ് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റാത്ത കാരണം സെയിൽസ് ഉണ്ടെങ്കിൽ ഇതുപോലുള്ള ഇപ്പൊ ഞങ്ങളുടെ ഇൻക്യുബേറ്റർ അല്ല, കേരള സ്റ്റാർട്ടപ്പ് മിഷൻ ഇൻക്യുബേറ്റർ ഉണ്ട്. അതുകൂടാതെ അട്ടൽ ഇൻക്യുബേഷൻ സെന്റേഴ്സ് ഉണ്ട്. അട്ടൽ AIC എന്ന് പറയും, അട്ടൽ ഇൻക്യുബേഷൻ സെന്റേഴ്സ്. ഞാൻ കേരള സ്റ്റാർട്ടപ്പ് മിഷന്റെയും പാർട്ടാണ്. അട്ടൽ ഇൻക്യുബേഷൻ സെന്റർ, അട്ടൽ ഇന്നോവേഷൻ മിഷന്റെ റീജിയണൽ മെമ്പർ ഓഫ് സീൻസ് ആണ്. അപ്പോൾ എനിക്ക് ഇങ്ങനെ കുറച്ച് ഐഡിയാസ് ഉണ്ട് എവിടെയൊക്കെ ഇതിന് പോസിബിലിറ്റീസ് ഉണ്ട്. അപ്പോൾ ഈ ഇൻക്യുബേറ്റേഴ്സിൽ കോണ്ടാക്ട് ചെയ്താലുള്ള ഒരു ഗുണം എന്താണെന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ അവർ നമ്മളെ മെന്റർ ചെയ്യും. ദേ വിൽ ഹെൽപ്പ്. എങ്ങനെ മാർക്കറ്റ് ചെയ്യണം, ഏത് ടെക്നോളജി യൂസ് ചെയ്യണം എന്നൊക്കെ പറഞ്ഞ് മെന്റർ ചെയ്ത് നിങ്ങളുടെ പ്രൊഡക്റ്റിനെ സ്കെയിൽ അപ്പ് ചെയ്യാൻ അവർ ഹെൽപ്പ് ചെയ്യും. അതിന്റെ യൂസർ ബേസ് ഇൻക്രീസ് ചെയ്യാനും നിങ്ങളൊന്ന് വളരാൻ അവർ ഹെൽപ്പ് ചെയ്യും. അതിനാണ് നമ്മൾ ഇൻക്യുബേറ്റേഴ്സിൽ പോകുന്നത്. ഇപ്പൊ കേരള സ്റ്റാർട്ടപ്പ് മിഷന്റെ ഇൻക്യുബേഷൻ സെന്റർ ഉണ്ട്. അവിടെ പോയി സംസാരിക്കുവാണെങ്കിൽ നിങ്ങൾക്ക് അവിടെ ഇൻക്യുബേഷൻ എടുക്കാം. നിങ്ങളുടെ പ്രോഡക്റ്റ് നല്ലതാണെങ്കിൽ ആ പ്രോഡക്റ്റിനെ സ്കെയിൽ അപ്പ് ചെയ്യാനുള്ള എല്ലാ ഫെസിലിറ്റീസും അവർ ചെയ്തു തരും. ഇതുപോലെ തന്നെ ഞങ്ങളും ചെയ്യുന്നുണ്ട്. ഞങ്ങളുടെ അടുത്ത് വരുവാണെങ്കിൽ നിങ്ങളുടെ പ്രൊഡക്റ്റ് നല്ലതാണെങ്കിൽ അതിനെ സ്കെയിൽ അപ്പ് ചെയ്യാനുള്ള എല്ലാ ഫെസിലിറ്റീസും ഞങ്ങൾ ചെയ്തു തരും. ഞാൻ പേഴ്സണൽ കൺസൾട്ടേഷനും ചെയ്യുന്നുണ്ട്. അതുപോലെ ഒരുപാട് ആൾക്കാരുണ്ട്. നിങ്ങൾക്ക് എല്ലാവർക്കും ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റിയ ഒരു കാര്യം എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ ലിങ്ക്ഡിൻ എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞൊരു പ്ലാറ്റ്ഫോം എല്ലാവർക്കും അറിയണ്ടാവും. ആ പ്ലാറ്റ്ഫോമിന്റെ അകത്ത് പ്രോപ്പറായിട്ട് ആ പ്ലാറ്റ്ഫോം യൂസ് ചെയ്യുകയാണെങ്കിൽ ഇതുപോലുള്ള ഒരുപാട് ഇൻഫർമേഷൻസ് കിട്ടും. ഡീറ്റെയിൽസ് ഓഫ് ലോട്ട് ഓഫ് ഇൻക്യുബേറ്റേഴ്സ്, ലോട്ട് ഓഫ് മെന്റേഴ്സ്, ഇതെല്ലാം ലിങ്ക്ഡിൻ എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞ പ്ലാറ്റ്ഫോം വഴി നമുക്ക് കോൺടാക്ട് ബിൽഡ് ചെയ്തെടുക്കാൻ പറ്റും. അപ്പൊ ആ പ്രൊഡക്റ്റിനെ സക്സസിലേക്ക് എത്തിക്കാൻ ആദ്യം വേണ്ടത് നല്ല കോൺടാക്ട്സ് ആണ്. ഇപ്പൊ ഒരു പ്രൊഡക്റ്റ് ഉണ്ടെങ്കിൽ അതിന്റെ കേസിങ് ചെയ്യണം, അതിന്റെ മോൾഡിങ് ചെയ്യണം, അതിന്റെ ഇലക്ട്രോണിക്സ് ചെയ്യണം, അതിന്റെ ലീഗൽ സൈഡ് ചെയ്യണം. അപ്പോൾ ഇതെല്ലാം കൂടെ ഒരു കുട്ടിക്ക് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റില്ല. കാരണം അവൻ അതിനെക്കുറിച്ചുള്ള എല്ലാ നോളജും ഉണ്ടാവില്ല. അപ്പൊ നമ്മളുടെ കോണ്ടാക്ട്സ് ആണ് അതിന്റെ കാര്യം. നമ്മൾക്ക് സ്ട്രോങ് കോണ്ടാക്ട്സ് ഉണ്ടെങ്കിൽ ഈ മോൾഡിങ് ചെയ്യാനും അതുകൂടാതെ ഈ പ്രോഡക്റ്റിന്റെ എല്ലാ ആസ്പെക്ട്സും ചെയ്യാൻ നമ്മളുടെ ആൾക്കാരുണ്ടാവും. അതിനെയാണ് പാർട്ട്നേഴ്സ് എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്. നമ്മളുടെ സ്ട്രോങ് പാർട്ട്നേഴ്സ് ഉണ്ടെങ്കിൽ നമുക്ക് എത്രയും വേഗം നമ്മുടെ പ്രോഡക്റ്റ് ലോഞ്ച് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റും. ഇപ്പോ നവനീത് പറഞ്ഞതനുസരിച്ച് നമ്മള് ആൾക്കാർക്ക് റൈറ്റ് ആയിട്ട് മാർക്കറ്റ് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റുന്നില്ല. നമ്മൾ ആക്ച്വലി നേരെ ഇൻക്യുബേറ്റേഴ്സിലേക്ക് പോകുന്നു, അവരുടെ ഹെൽപ്പോടുകൂടി മാർക്കറ്റ് ചെയ്യുന്നു. ഈ ഇൻക്യുബേറ്റേഴ്സ് മന്ത്ലി ഒരു റെന്റ് കൊടുക്കേണ്ടി വരും. അപ്പോൾ കേരള സ്റ്റാർട്ടപ്പ് മിഷനിൽ ഇൻക്യുബേഷൻ എടുക്കുകയാണെങ്കിൽ യു വിൽ ഹാവ് ടു പേ സം റെന്റ്. അതായിരിക്കും അവരുടെ മാർജിൻ വരുന്നത്. നിങ്ങൾക്ക് നിങ്ങളുടെ പ്രൊഡക്റ്റിനെ ഹിറ്റ് ആക്കാം. അതാണ് ഒരു വഴിയുള്ളത്. എനി അതർ ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻസ്? അപ്പോൾ നിങ്ങൾക്ക് പേഴ്സണലി ആർക്കെങ്കിലും ഒരു സ്റ്റാർട്ടപ്പ് ഹോസ്റ്റ് ചെയ്യാൻ താല്പര്യം ഉണ്ടെങ്കിലോ, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ നിങ്ങൾക്ക് എന്തെങ്കിലും ഒരു ഐഡിയ ഉണ്ടോ അതിന് പ്രൊഡക്റ്റ് ആക്കി മാറ്റണമെങ്കിലോ, പേഴ്സണലി ഞാൻ ഹെൽപ്പ് ചെയ്യാം. ആർക്കെന്തെങ്കിലും എന്തെങ്കിലും ആവശ്യം ഉണ്ടെങ്കിൽ യു ക്യാൻ ഡയറക്ട്ലി കോൺടാക്ട് മീ. നിങ്ങളുടെ ഐഡിയ പ്രോഡക്റ്റ് ആക്കാൻ വേണ്ട എല്ലാ ഹെൽപ്പുകളും നമ്മൾക്ക് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റും. എനിക്കിപ്പോൾ തൽക്കാലം നമ്മളിപ്പോൾ ഇത്രയും പ്രോഡക്ട്സ് ചെയ്തുകൊണ്ട് തന്നെ നമ്മൾക്ക് അതിൻ്റെ സ്ട്രോങ് കോൺടാക്ട്സ് ഉണ്ട്. നമ്മളുടെ എല്ലാ ഫെസിലിറ്റീസും അവൈലബിൾ ആണ് അതിന് വേണ്ടിയിട്ട്. അപ്പോൾ ആർക്കെങ്കിലും അങ്ങനെ ഒരു സ്റ്റാർട്ടപ്പ് ഉണ്ടാക്കാനോ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഒരു ടീം ബിൽഡ് ചെയ്യാനോ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഒരു ഐഡിയനെ പ്രൊഡക്റ്റ് ആക്കി മാറ്റാനോ ഒക്കെ ആഗ്രഹമുള്ളവരുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ യു ക്യാൻ ഡയറക്ട്ലി കോൺടാക്ട് മീ.
Okay, thank you, sir. Is there any other questions? If no, I request all of you to please kindly switch on the video to capture a picture. So please.
Please, everyone, നിങ്ങളുടെ വീഡിയോസ് ഒന്ന് ഓൺ ചെയ്യുകയാണെന്നുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ we can have a group photo session. Please switch on the videos, everyone, please. I request everyone to kindly switch on the videos, please. It will just take less than 30 seconds, please. Yes, thank you so much. And I'll put the feedback form in your chat box. And Anurup sir, thank you very much for those valuable thoughts on how we can find out an innovation or a creativity. By that, we can find out or develop a product which is absolutely fit for the market. So I hope you are also fit for the topic you presented. So thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Over to you, Ashwati.
So I'm sharing my LinkedIn profile in the chat. You can connect with me through that.
Okay, sure, sir. Okay. Now I would like to call upon Ms. Elsa Rose, 5th semester BCom Finance, for rendering the vote of thanks.
Thank you, Ashwati. I'm really glad and excited to have got this opportunity to propose a vote of thanks just because we got a very charming, interactive, and experienced resource person here with us, Mr. Anurup KB. It was very informative to listen to you, sir. Knowledge is something that is to be shared, and I must say you've done this in its best. Thank you so much, sir, for spending a part of your time with us from your busy schedule. Thank you so much, sir. First of all, let me thank Research Department of Commerce in association with the institution's Innovation Council and Entrepreneurship Development Club for organizing such an informative session for all of us present here. I would also like to take this opportunity to thank our principal in charge, Dr. Father Martin K.A., HOD of Department of Commerce, Dr. Biju John M., President of Institution's Innovation Council, Dr. John Naduvat, and webinar convener, Professor Jilna John, who has been the backbone of this event. I would also like to extend my gratitude to all the student coordinators for taking a part in the success journey of this webinar. I would also like to thank Ashwati for being a very charming MC. Last but not the least, I thank all my friends for participating and making this webinar a grand success. Thank you so much.